Hi, how are you? This is part two of me learning how to play the bass guitar, and I want to reflect on a couple of things from last time. Number one, I think I might have been rushing a little bit too fast, and I'm probably going to be talking about that a lot more in this video and taking some more time to reflect on it. Number two, I was super lazy with some of my filming, and I'm really trying now to take the filming and the shots that I'm filming a little bit more seriously. Because I look back at some of those shots and I'm like, damn, it was out of focus. This wasn't so good. This was out of frame. I was kind of being lazy. I was kind of just filming the shots and not really looking at them afterwards. I know, dumb YouTuber thing to do. I've been doing this for a while, but holding myself accountable for that today. There might be a part three. I still have a little bit of footage left, but I feel like that might be the shortest part. And I feel like there's gonna be probably some more footage that I might film some more footage of how I'm doing now, as opposed to how I was back when I first started, or say maybe like a month or two ago, and just to really just bring it all around full circle and basically do some reflection. It wasn't that bad. I'm kind of glad that I picked it up. I'm really still enjoying the instrument, and it was really cool, and I've been enjoying it, and I'll just show you guys the footage right now. To give you guys a little bit of context about what I'm playing here, the band on that poster in the background is Weezer. And about 10 years after that iconic Blue album came out, as you can tell there, they made an album called Make Believe. This album had a huge hit single called Beverly Hills, which is the very song riff I'm playing on the bass right now. It's actually pretty simple. I just down tune my bass half a step, and I literally just play 2 or 3 notes, if not 4 notes, on the E and the A string, and it's pretty simple to do. I'll admit it, the way that I'm using my plucking hand is wrong. I should be plucking into the next string or into my thumb. I shouldn't be, pulling it up like that. So that's a habit that I had to break, but I did break that later on, and it was fun to learn this. The thing I think that I regret the most was trying to go so fast, and I feel like this is me with literally anything. Like, I'll practice the basics for a couple of days, and I'm like, you know what? Let's try something, Let's go after something. But then my thoughts began to linger in, my crappy, horrible, intrusive thoughts, which are just a part of me. And I kept thinking to myself, well, I was getting frustrated, I was trying to put my bass guitar in tune, but it wasn't picking up the E string at all. I don't know why the hell it does that, it just does. And the more that I kept thinking about it, I'm like, maybe I'm going a little bit too fast. I learned the song Beverly Hills by Weezer, and it's actually pretty simple. If I was to play it right now with the experience that I have, I think now would actually be the perfect time to learn that song now, because it really is basic. But back then, looking back on it, I think I probably should have taken some more time to really practice some other stuff and focus more on technique rather than trying to learn songs. Because that was the same mistake that I made on the piano. So what I chose to do with this is I got that gift card along with my beginner kit and my set with my bass, basically put in all of the info, and I've been practicing these basic bass instructions and video lessons, watching what these professionals are doing, and basically just taking what they have and then trying to incorporate it into my bass playing. And it allowed me to have a sense of direction, because I don't just like going into things blindly all the time. Sometimes I need a plan, and doing this with these beginner bass lessons has been giving me a plan, and it's been a real huge help. So here's some of the footage from that. Here for this exercise, I'm playing a watered-down version of Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. And here at the beginning, the bass would just not stop buzzing. It was super duper frustrating, but I was really trying to just practice the basics and just see what I can do. And hey, my professor always told me that repetition leads to retention, so I kept practicing it over and over and over and over again. And eventually, I got it to sound a little bit better to where there was less buzzing, and ended up testing myself, where I basically record my bass playing into the microphone of my laptop, and it'll basically give me feedback, and the microphone actually works pretty well. And after I finally tested myself, I got a 95. I passed with flying colors, and I think I was ready to move on to the next task. This part here was a little bit confusing, but I think this was a song called Do You. I forgot who it's by, but I think I was practicing this part, and I don't have to remember why I was practicing this part, but I will explain where I did mess up later on, and this was a huge detrimental part. But this is, I guess, really just helping me getting used to just silencing the strings and muting the strings and just trying to just navigate the fretboard in a different way. This footage here, I honestly look back at it and I do kind of regret this. I did say, I believe in the last part, that I would probably end up going too fast. I didn't think I was at the time, but here I am practicing 16th notes. I mean, I think I am playing it a little bit too fast, and maybe I was a little bit in over my head when it came to playing this thing. I thought it would have been easy, simple, flat, no problem, but I was really pushing it a little bit too quickly. Despite me trying to move a little bit too fast, there actually is a bit of a silver lining here. When I was practicing these 8th note exercises, 16th note exercises, I was able to reduce the amount of fret buzz that I was doing, and I was genuinely impressed by this now that I'm watching the footage over again, because before it was just buzzing, and it really frustrated me, and later on, I'll go off on a rant about how much it frustrates me then, but it's good to know that I'm learning to break the habit, and it's starting to sound a little bit better. There are a couple of things looking back at this exercise that I'm honestly really glad that I did. Number one, I really feel like I have a good sense of rhythm here, and I feel like I'm really playing the instructions in the practice exercise that I'm doing like really good to the beat, which is good because bassists have to have a good sense of rhythm, despite me trying to move way too fast. But it's also the fact that I'm plucking into the neck string, if not into my thumb, and not pulling up the way that I used to before. 16th notes, warming up across the strings, this fret to this fret to this fret to this fret. It's like navigating the frets, it's not the hard part. Trying to pluck with my freaking plucking hand properly while not, playing another string on accident. That's the hardest part about doing this exercise, in my opinion. Like, not only do I need to develop better pinky strength here, but I also need to have better awareness of where my hand is and where my fingers are plucking each and every string. But let me stop talking. Let me just do the damn thing already. The exercise that I was doing here was trying to go from E5 to A7 to D5 to G7, and then basically doing that in reverse. So then it would be G5, D7, A5, E7, kind of just going one way and then just doing it the opposite way, from going basically from up all the way to down. It wasn't hard to play, but the buzzing was definitely throwing me off, so maybe it wasn't as easy as I thought. Forget I said that first part. The thing that I've been struggling the most when trying to play bass as of now isn't even really playing, it's trying to navigate the fretboard better. And I thought I kind of had this down, but I guess I don't. The hardest part is trying to play and go from one fret to another and making it sound good. And yes, I know, put your finger like right before the fret. I know that. But trying to navigate and trying to stretch to an extent, not too much, but trying to stretch and pull it this way and this way and this way. It's like, I find it very hard to try to navigate it and make it sound good. And I feel like I have to stretch, and I feel like I'm really pressing down, it's causing strain, but I'm not pressing down with my thumb. It's more like with my other fingers, because if I don't do it hard enough, or maybe I am doing it too hard, but I don't know, it's supposed to be like, look at that. Like, if I tilt my finger even just a little bit, you hear that shit? It sounds like crap. Alright, let me just play what I want to play. It's going to be this 16th note warm-up across strings. It's on my laptop here. I'm going to play the audio from here while I'm also trying to play it here. Something that I look back at now that I've gotten better at playing bass here, is that I realize I don't think I need to stretch my hand that far down or move my plucking hand like that. I think maybe it would have been easier maybe to just transition from, the E string to the A string to then pluck the D string and just kind of just travel on the way down. To some extent. I don't want to overdo it too much because I also want to try to make it a nice, comfortable transition so it doesn't sound bad, but maybe it varies. You let me know in the comments. It feels a little bit weird and it's not as close, but let's try.
I was trying this other exercise which was similar to the one that I was practicing before. I was kind of like going backwards and kind of going down on the bass, which is like going from the G string to the E string, higher notes to deeper notes. I definitely was playing this okay, but I'm wondering if my wrist should really be turning that much when I do that. I feel like it should be more of a smoother transition, which is probably what is causing the buzzing in the first place.
Yeah, it's not perfect. I'm still working on it. I think I need to slow it down a little bit. I think I need to really just practice the coordination, really focus on, not turning my hands so much. But I feel like, I could do that. It does help, but just really trying to get that control and just a better, smoother transition from one string to the other. And I think that's just what I need to work on the most. My finger strength here is actually pretty good. This has gotten a huge upgrade, but this, the transition, the smoothness, the control, it's a lot, but we're gonna get there. I wish I can say this video had a happy ending, but if I'm being honest, it just didn't. Where I fumbled and where I really messed up here, I accidentally skipped lessons. And I didn't realize this. I don't know what was going through my brain at the time, but for some reason, they have this thing where it's like level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know what the hell it was. I think I realized that maybe 16th notes, I was probably going a little bit too fast, but I thought the 8th notes were super easy, so I'm like, alright, screw it. 16th notes next. And I was practicing some of the exercises for level 6, even though I basically skipped over levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or at least most of them. I don't know how I got from level 1 to level 6. It was really confusing. I don't know how I even bothered pulling that off, but I did, and I'm like, crap, now I gotta go back. And genuinely, I was mad, and I was pissed at myself, but I'm like, wait, now's the time to learn. The lessons are still there. This is my beginner journey. I'm gonna fuck up. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna flop sometimes, but I either could have chose to walk away and just not play this instrument that's right next to me somewhere in the distance, or I can learn from this and choose to be better. And I chose to keep going and to basically learn the hard way and realize that I can still make a comeback and I can still learn how to play bass and to truly start over again. It's not about, what we do, it's not about really how we feel in that moment regarding that stumble or falling backwards, but more about how we choose to respond to it and basically how we choose to move forward. And I could have quit. I could have just chosen to just ditch this instrument and probably maybe just bring it back to the store, but can't do that now because I've had it for longer than the money back guarantee date. And it's like, when I finally chose to not worry about that so much and just keep going, I began to enjoy it a lot more. And I felt confident in myself, and I feel like I'm becoming a better bass player and just a better musician overall. And I'm really glad that I've been doing that. This is something that I've always been kind of on and off passionate about, but being now the way I am and how I'm choosing to go about it, I have a better sense, I have a way better sense of direction, and I have more confidence now because of that. And that's the best part. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this inspired you guys to not give up and to keep going after the things that you want to do. Failure isn't necessarily messing up. It's more about messing up and then just stopping the thing that you're doing, period, overall. So maybe I have a little bit of a twisted mindset towards failure, but that's something I'm gonna learn and something that I'm gonna build up and work on over time. But enough of me talking, I'm done. Have a good day, all that outro YouTuber generic stuff, and yeah, bye. Love you.